What's up, everybody? Azario here for the wrap-up review. I know it's kind of zoomed in right now. Forgive me because I am trying something, relatively new. I don't have a green screen or anything like that. So one thing I always wanted to do is have a backdrop of the game, and this is the best thing I can do right now. So hopefully this is a good enough visual aid for the time being until I'm able to get some better hardware and a green screen to do something fancy like that with. But yeah, in this wrap-up review, I'm going to be talking about a game I finished yesterday, a game that was met with a lot of controversy, a game that came out in 2013. What we're talking about here is DmC Devil May Cry, which is a reboot of the series that spans all the way back to the PlayStation 2. Now, I never really understand how to do these wrap-up reviews because it's still somewhat of a new animal for me. I never really got used to it. I do still have stage fright, and I'm kind of camera shy in a sense, but nevertheless, I'm going to do my best. Hope you guys enjoy the damn video, and I hope you guys will continue to support me, and etc, etc. But yeah, Devil May Cry is a game that came out back in 2013, and prior to the game actually being released, it was met with a lot of controversy because this Devil May Cry is a reboot, like I said, to the games, to the Devil May Cry series that spans all the way back to the PlayStation 2, and it came, and that original series of games came onto the PlayStation 3, and the original character design for Dante was this white hair, long red coat, pretty much like badass rocker that could wield various types of weapons. He was the son of Sparta. He went around kicking demons' ass, and he had a business called Devil May Cry. In this game, Dante, as you can see, he has black hair, and his coat on the inside is red, but the outside, it's not the traditional Dante look that we all know for those who have played that original series of Devil May Cry. And, people were pissed off at first, and they just looked at it like, oh, well, since Dante isn't the Dante that we know him, why would I even bother playing the game? And let me tell you right now, you guys missed out on something good if you went into this game with that type of mentality, or if you passed up this game with that type of mentality. But the game starts off at this carnival where Dante had, basically he was, the game basically starts off in this club, and Dante, he meets a bunch of women, and he goes back to the carnival where his trailer is, and he basically sex them up, and that's where the way the game gets started. Yes, the game starts off with promoting sex. So for all you fucking abstinent people out there, give it a fucking break because you ain't gonna like it. But yeah, the game starts off like that, and out of nowhere, this girl named Kat, she knocks on the door and basically tries to recruit Dante for whatever reason, I believe. And let me not get this mixed up because see, it's a stage fright. I'm starting to get nervous again. But please bear with me. This is a new animal. Don't get mad at me. Just because you're not good at something doesn't mean you won't ever be good at something. You do have to fail to succeed. But yeah, Dante gets dragged into limbo when this hunter demon comes after him. And this girl named Kat meets Dante, who is a new, supporting character in the Devil May Cry series, Kat. And she's pretty much like a psychic of sorts that can go in between limbo and the real world at will. And the hunter demon that comes after Dante, he basically is there to catch him. And that's pretty much how the game starts off. Now, along the way, Dante meets Virgil, who is another character from the Devil May Cry series that looks completely different than his original character design. And he basically wants to recruit Dante in this group called the Order that is going up against the king of hell, so to speak, Mundus. And he finally decides to join them. And I don't want to go too deeper into the story other than that they do go on this crusade to stop Mundus, and there's a lot of plot twists, and well, not a lot, but it's a few plot twists in there, and that makes the game interesting, and it actually leads you to believe that they're going to make another one. You know, that they will be making a sequel to this game, and I don't want to dive into that any deeper. But the combat of Devils May Cry, it's basically typical Devils May Cry fashion, but it's more of a freestyle combat system. In this game, Dante has various weapons that he gets that is either, you know, just normal weapons, or they're demon weapons or angel weapons. And, you know, pretty much just during the course of the game, you find yourself using various weapons for different enemies. For example, like the demon weapons can only harm red enemies. The angel weapons can only harm light blue enemies. And in previous Devils May Cries, you know, as I said in the final video of this gameplay through, most of the weapons that were used in the previous Devils May Cry games, they didn't really have too much of a purpose as they do in here. In this game, the reason why I say that, because in past Devil May Cries, I mean, yeah, you had one or two enemies that you could use different weapons against, but it was pretty much just up to the user. Like, you didn't have to use those weapons if you didn't want to. In this game, it's actually kind of mandatory for you to have these other weapons. And yeah, you do have a choice between this large axe, this giant axe, or these gauntlets, or whether it be the scythe, or say like various guns that he has access to. It's pretty much just up to you to use the weapons that he has at his disposal to defeat those enemies that only those weapons can defeat. I hope I'm making some sense here. But yeah, like, certain weapons can only defeat certain enemies, and in previous Devil May Cry games, you didn't really have that challenge thrown at you like that. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was pretty much optional for you to use any of the other weapons. You didn't have to use them. It favored you to use, these weapons over these weapons. It favored you. It favored you to use certain weapons over other ones. However, it never was mandatory for you to use those weapons for those enemies. In this game, they actually throw challenges at you, and it gives those weapons some sort of meaning. You know what I mean? And it gives them some sort of purpose outside of just using them. You have to use them. So that's a challenging aspect of this game that I think that the people that played it liked. Really, that's what the gameplay comes down to. Now, the storyline of Devils May Cry, it's nothing like the original Devils May Cry games. I mean, yeah, Dante is still, like the son of Sparta. Virgil is still his brother. But the way that they meet up is different than the original Devil May Cry games. The way that, I should say, pretty much just the way that they interact with each other is also different. In the previous Devil May Cry games, Dante and Virgil, they meet each other, they're pretty much enemies. In this game, they're actually, they're brothers. And Virgil been looking for Dante for quite some time, and he knew that they were brothers, but, like I said, I don't want to give away too much, but, yeah, pretty much like they're friendlier than they were in the previous Devil May Cry games. And I would say that it's a pretty okay story. Not too much there, really. Like I said, like, there's one or two plot twists in the game that kind of shake things up, that leads you to believe that they're going to make a sequel to it. But yeah, it's not bad at all. So let me get into the big problem with this game, One thing that I can say I don't like about it, but then again I do like about it, is that one, that the game is short. And the reason why I say I don't really like it is because it's a really short game. Matter of fact, let me pull my laptop over here, unplug this, excuse my head, because I would like to see exactly how many hours of gameplay I plugged into this thing. I didn't check ahead of time. I do apologize for that. Let me see. Playlist. Like, I really meant to do this earlier. It's pretty much just 8 hours of gameplay, which is okay. You know, it's 8 solid hours of gameplay, and that's not too long. However, every Devil May Cry game is, from my experiences with them, and from what I can remember, all of the Devil May Cry games, they've always lent themselves to replayability, and this is where I like, you know, the fact that the game was somewhat short, because you can just go right back and you can go revisit those areas. For example, there's like certain weapons that can only access certain areas, and now you're able to go back and go visit those secret areas and try to unlock some of the secrets in this game. You know, that there's skins, there's leaderboards if you feel like you know, like you want to challenge someone's online rank a record or whatever the case may be, for like the fastest time or the highest ranking or like the highest difficulty. Then, you know, you can do that. In the game, and I know a lot of you seen this, it was some minor lag with the gameplay. Like, the gameplay would literally lag. It was like, I don't know if it wasn't loading fast enough or what the case may be. Now, I never played this game on disc, so I can't say if those same problems had existed on disc or not. But this is a digital download, so maybe, you know, when I downloaded it, maybe some information didn't get transferred right or something like that. But I can only speak from my experience, and the game did have minor lag in it. But it's not that big of a deal because it didn't interfere with the gameplay so much that where, you know, it's that big of a problem. But it did exist in the game. And also, a lot, like I said earlier on in the beginning of the video, a lot of people passed this game up simply because of the changes made to Dante. Now, at the time, again, when this game was announced, people didn't even like the way Dante was, so they just didn't bother to even play it. And to this day, those same people still probably didn't play it. And let me tell you right now, you guys missed out on like a good game. You missed out on a good game. And yeah, I can understand, you know, some like both sides of the fence. You know, once you get accustomed to the way like a character looks, and they're using that same character design, or they're using that character, you know, over a series of games, you know, for like years and years, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, they announce a reboot, and then the character gets changed, you know, but then again, it's a reboot, you know what I mean? So of course they're going to change some things with the character to try to keep it fresh for that new audience that they're trying to reach. All the while keeping the original fans entertained and interested in the series. So it's pretty much just for those that didn't play the game. Simply because of that, you guys missed out on something, because the game is actually pretty good. The game is actually pretty good, and I'm actually thinking about going back and trying to revisit some of those areas that I wasn't able to access because I didn't have the weapons at that point in the game. But the game is not bad. So in this video, let me just say this: I am trying out like a new, you know, like rating system. You know, should you play it? Should you not play it? Should you pass it up? You know, should you buy it? Should you not buy it? Etc. Etc. I feel like this game is worth playing. You know, that's what I say. I feel like this game is worth playing. it's a good game. It's short, but there's replayability there for those that care about that thing. You know, some people, they don't care about replayability that much. It's like, once I play the game, you know, that's it, and I'm done with it. But there's secrets in the game. Now, I don't know what secrets they have. Like I said, I've seen uh, some of the content in the game that I didn't have unlocked yet. They had character skins and various things like that. Who knows? Maybe you're able to play with Virgil in the game. I don't know, so I don't want anybody to really quote me on that. But it's a fun game. At the end of the day, that's all you really can ask for. Is the game worth playing? And this game is worth playing. So if you pass this up, let me tell you, go back, play it, and experience what the Devil May Cry reboot has in store. And from my experience, I can say that you really won't be disappointed. You know, it's fun. I do wish it was longer though, but again, the way that they ended, it looks like they're leaning towards a sequel, you know, sometime soon. And who knows? Maybe we'll get that. But for this game, it's worth buying, and it's worth getting your hands on. So right now, it is at this very moment. You know, it's on the PlayStation Network for free for the PlayStation Plus users. As you can see, I got mine right there. So I downloaded the full game for free. So anybody who sees this and you have a PlayStation Plus membership, go get it. But yeah, it's absolutely fun. I enjoyed it, and I hope you guys will enjoy it as well. And from my experience, I believe you will. So with that being said, thanks for joining me for this episode of the wrap-up review. Thanks for joining me. Continue to support me. Again, I apologize if I didn't live up to the status quo of other people that you've seen doing video game reviews. Like I said, this is relatively a new animal for me. And one of these days, trust me, I will get it right. And for the people that will support me and will enjoy the ride of me, you know, fucking up these reviews, but I'm pretty sure you guys understand like the gist of what I'm trying to say, and that's the important thing. The game is fun. Play it. Try it out for yourself. Don't be so closed-minded just because there's a cosmetic change to the character that you feel shouldn't have it. You know. Well, so thank you for joining me for this episode of the wrap-up review for DmC Devil May Cry 2013. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time, peace and keep on playing.